Episode 153 of the TV Dudes podcast, recorded October 12th, 2017. Fall Superheroes.
Yeah, not the fall of superheroes.
No, it's just Fall Superheroes.
I mean, one of them is very much the fall of superheroes.
It does seem like we are in the decline.
Yeah, it does. We're in Roman Empire times, and the fiddle. There's definitely some burning and some fiddling going on over it. Jeff Loeb is a fiddle in his hand. Is all I'm
It's
saying.
funny you say that because on Legends they actually fight Julius Caesar.
For no reason I can understand.
Oh, no reason.
Yeah. See, Legends of Tomorrow, incredibly, gets dumber and dumber every season.
And yet you guys seem to keep watching it.
It's still the best of the CW shows.
Yes, especially this season, they have embraced their purest premise.
Oh, yeah.
The whole plot of the show is that the Legends are really bad at their jobs.
They're terrible at this.
So badly that they've been actually stopped from being Legends.
Yeah. The Time Bureau, the professional Time Bureau comes in and we'll talk about it. But they come in and tell them, look, no more, guys. We're
Like if
taking
somebody
your ship.
showed up and told the Justice League, stop it, you just make messes.
Wow, seriously.
Yeah, they've embraced.
It's kind of great.
They've embraced the premise. Yeah.
Oh, man. Hey, guys. So this week we are talking all about fall superhero TV shows. We got the Berlanti hour and a half. I guess it's not even an hour anymore.
What is it called, Les?
The Greg Berlanti Fun Time Hour?
There you go.
Without commercials, I think it might come down to an hour.
We got Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, and Supergirl. And then we're talking about two other new shows, both Marvel, but one is the Inhumans, the other is the Fox version over.
Are we talking about that?
The X-Men version over on Fox called The Gifted. It's going to be a lot of fun talking about these shows, guys.
For two very different reasons.
Yes.
But before we get into all that, we are the TV Dudes. I'm Grant.
I'm Randy.
I'm Les.
And let's just say, hey, if you guys want to support us, go to patreon.com/tvdudes. There you can make a per episode pledge. Great way to help us. Also, you can go to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating, write a review. That helps us out. We're also part of the Permanent Record Network.
Permanent Record.
And this month, we want to support our bros over at Mr. Robot O podcast. That is OH, exclamation point. And you can find them at permanentrecord.com/podcast/Mr. Robot O, or just look it up. Just look up Mr. Robot O.
Comma O.
Are they our bros or our brobots?
There are robots.
Yes.
Season 3 just started as of this recording.
Yes.
Yesterday.
Yes.
So get on there and check out their podcast because they go in depth. We're going to be talking
we'll talk about it
soon
next
enough.
week, probably.
Yeah. But since we haven't gotten to it yet, and I know you guys are jonesing, go check it out, Mr. Robot O. And while you're at it, go check him out on iTunes, subscribe, give him a rating, and all that helps him out.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Let's just get into these listener questions because we got a good gaggle of them.
Are you not going to talk about Patreon?
Oh, I did. I mentioned that we do Patreon.
Did you?
I said patreon.com/tvdudes.
You whipped through it.
I whipped through all of it. I was like, show notes. I'm just going to buzz right through.
All right, fine. I just want to make sure people know they can donate money to us.
You
Just
guys can give money.
So everybody understands, there's a list coming of all of the unspoken third ways, right? I mean, there's got to be like 15 piled up
Randy's just
unspoken
gonna
third
explode.
ways. Yes.
Maybe that will be my Christmas gift to all of you.
Oh, jeez. I thought you fully retired it, but
I
if it's
did.
actually just you biting your tongue
But the
week after week.
notion of a top 25 ways you can support us is definitely a possibility. Nonetheless, mentions it.
That would
Top
be
10 third ways.
25 on 25th of December.
Yes,
Stay tuned,
maybe
guys.
so.
All right, let's hit our questions. If you like us on Facebook, that's facebook.com/tvdudes. You guys can ask us questions, and we will read the abbreviated version of your question, Jonathan Huffnagel. Because Jonathan Huffnagel, he's our boy, and he wrote an entire novel here.
Here's what I know about alternate universes.
Okay.
If you're in the evil universe, you're in the mirror universe, you have a goatee, and you spend a long time writing a question.
Okay.
Not a lot of editors in the mirror universe.
No, they're all writers.
If you guys want to read the expanded version of his question, you can go over to our Facebook page. But basically, he's saying, boo, TV dudes. With the premiere of Ghosted, my next Halloween question aptly should involve ghosts and crossing over. What characters from one TV show would you like to ghost and teleport into another TV universe to haunt them.
Before we answer the question,
Okay.
I would like to admit something to you people here.
Sure.
I was wrong about Ghosted.
Oh, did the second episode come out?
Yes.
Oh.
I do not think it's going to become anything. I think it's pretty terrible. Yes.
I was wondering which way this was going to go. I couldn't remember if you liked or did not like the first episode.
And I'm leaning the same way on the Orville. So I'm sorry to all of you who listen to me.
Oh, man.
I may
Some
have been
people
wrong.
are all up on the dick of the Orville.
I know.
And they're like trying to talk shit about Star Trek. And I'm like, hey, I do a Star Trek podcast and you guys are wrong.
Yeah, when's the Orville podcast coming out from Permanent Record?
Never.
Orville, or I think we should call it like the Wright brothers, like the Orville and...
Yeah, we could do that.
I just wish they would like replace the bit of the broken crystal shard so that these two shows would mix together into a Trek show. Like the dark warship and the absolute shiny stupid Orville.
Yeah.
And you could put one together that could have like ideals about science.
Hey, listen to our Star Trek podcast.
Yep. All right. So now the question about ghosting.
We have a ghost
Yep.
that can haunt another TV show from one other TV show. This is our premise here,
Well,
folks.
I think Les just answered one of them, which is you kill the cast of the Orville, you ghost them onto the Discovery.
Would that fix it?
No.
There's nothing that needs fixing on the Discovery.
No, but there'd be people like,
No.
why are you all so mad all the time?
That'd be so weird though. The ghosts would be all cheerful. I think it would work a lot better if you just event horizon to the Orville. and just had like the cast of Gotham haunt it. Like I would love to watch the cast of the Orville deal with like a genuine Event Horizon haunting.
Oh, I like
thing
this.
with the
Yeah, I
spaceship.
could see that.
I would also watch the entire cast of Arrested Development live in the Full House as ghosts.
Oh my God! Can we just have let's take the Arrested Development cast and put them on Firefly on the Serenity flying
Yes.
around.
Yes.
Somehow, in the giant vacuum of space, they would still crash that into something.
Yeah, the first season of American Horror Story in a Flip This House show.
That's pretty good.
How about the cast of Seinfeld haunting the cast of Friends?
That would be pretty great.
Yeah, or the cast of Seinfeld moves into the girls' apartment from Girls.
Just because somebody at Girls deserves to be haunted by Newman.
That's actually
it's
true.
only fair.
How about the cast of Entourage ghosts into the girls' apartment?
Oh, I mean, I wouldn't wish that
might
on
work.
anyone.
But look, the good news is all the guys from Entourage would be dead.
Okay, there's a selling point. They're dead. All right, next question comes to us from Ross Brown, who
Is
says,
the girl from the OA haunting her own show?
"Oh shit, yeah, I was about to say, I haven't heard you bitch about the OA in a while."
I had to get a dig in.
Ross Brown says, I used to watch all of the CWDC shows, but now I only watch Supergirl and Legends of Tomorrow. After the god-awful Arrow Season 4 and Flash Season 3, do you think that these shows have an expiration date on how long you'll keep watching them?
My answer is the expiration date was last season because I didn't finish watching Legends of Tomorrow, Flash, or Arrow, and I don't really intend to go back.
So wait, is Arrow back?
I don't
not
know.
yet.
It's not yet.
Oh, okay.
I didn't finish watching Arrow. I skipped several of the last few episodes of the last season and then watched the finale only because of doing this podcast.
Yeah.
And the finale wasn't bad, but God, the last season was terrible.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the Flash fighting speedsters.
Remember when The Flash was good for last season?
It was.
They all run in these loops of stories. Like they can't get out of the same damn. Like Ollie's going to keep a secret.
Yeah.
We're going to fight a speedster. The legends are fuck ups.
Yeah, I believe I could fix all of CW's problems with 13-episode seasons and stop repeating yourself and stop changing everything. Like, the whole point of superhero comics, Bronze Age superhero comics, which is what they are aspiring to do here, is a certain status quo, the illusion of change.
You know, I kept thinking, it's interesting. They're going to hit it reset and then hit reset, and we're going to see how this builds up on each other and makes problems. And apparently it sucks on The Flash.
Yeah.
But when you see The Good Place conquer a very similar thing on reset buttons,
Yeah.
they are brilliant at it.
Yeah.
Which hopefully that's not a spoiler to anyone. Go watch The Good Place.
Yeah, go watch The Good Place.
Okay, next question comes to us from Justin Zarian, who says, if you could pick any lower tier hero to headline their own television show or miniseries, who would you pick and for what network? Personally, I'd love to see a miniseries following the Question getting caught up in some conspiracy theory that proves to actually be more real than he ever imagined. It might be something that could play on Amazon or Fox.
I'd watch a Question show.
I would absolutely watch a Question show.
Though, just because I want to say it, Kite Man, hell yeah. Actually, I don't think a Kite Man show would work. That's a nice story, but it only works once.
Just on CW Seed.
Yeah, I want, and I've wanted this for a long. I want an Infinity Incorporated show.
Yeah,
they are all second tier. They're all kids of established DC heroes.
Mm-hmm.
It would be similar to Runaways. It's from the '80s, so it's got a very '80s DC vibe.
Yeah,
but it was a comic I loved as a kid. They're all like, they're not just second tier. They're like kids of second tier villains and shit. And it just made for a really interesting team of like people that were too powerful to not follow in the family business, but who were adamantly being told by their parents to not pursue this career. Mm-hmm. And who just decided to go and form a thing. I think it would be great. I'd love to see the guy that directed Blue Ruin or Green Room show run that.
Okay. I mean, every time I hear the guy who directed Green Room, I'm like, fuck, that movie was so good.
And Blue Ruin is great, too.
I hate thinking about it, but I love also thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies. For me, well, you go ahead and go, Randy.
So I think one I'd like to see, and it's a DC one, but I wouldn't want it on CW. I would love HBO or FX to do Starman.
Ooh, okay.
Yes.
Because that could be an amazing show, and it's got some of the same. When you said Infinity,
there's a lot
that's
of years of
what sparked it
Starman,
for me.
but I think I'm guessing what.
Yeah, I'm talking about the James
area.
Robinson Starman,
Yeah.
James Robinson, Tony Harris, Peter Stechberg, the sort of the 40-something son of a Golden Age hero who wanted nothing to do with it. He's like runs a junk store and then becomes the legacy of Starman, and it deals with being a legacy hero and not wanting any part of it, and learning that what's important about being a superhero and how to fit that in with your hipster thing. And there's also basically a pansexual shadow being named the Shade, who was a Golden Age Flash villain and is now like the sort of advisor to this Starman, and he was a contemporary of Oscar Wilde, and he's like, there's so much great stuff in this. The City, Opal City, was like a character. It's an amazing run of comics, and
I'd watch a Shade show. I forgot how good the Shade is.
Yeah, I think FX or HBO could do an awesome Starman show.
I want Mayor 100 from
You want the Ex Machina show?
Ex Machina.
Man, I want Ex Machina so bad.
On FX. I mean, I feel like it was such a fascinating concept.
Yeah.
That this guy gets superhero powers, he stops the second plane from going into the
That
Twin
is
Towers.
still one of the best reveals in a physical comic book that I've ever read. You turn a page, and the way like he's telling the story of like someone's calling him a hero, and he's arguing that I'm not a hero, and the clincher of it is if I was a hero, I'd have stopped both.
Yeah.
And you flip that page in that comic, and they're in a New York with one tower.
Yeah.
And the other tower's a beam of light.
Vaughn is a master of the first issue. He did it in Runaways.
Sold me on
he
that
did
show.
in Y. He did in Ex Machina.
Yep.
He did in Saga. I mean, all of his first issues, he can do these killer endings. And so, yeah, that was a great one.
And yet, I mean, I felt like there was so much more to be fleshed out within that world.
Yeah.
And I was kind of disappointed by where it eventually went. It seemed to like build up this mythology and then go.
It's his most disappointing series too. In fact, I've never read the end.
Yeah, I've never read the ending of it either. Like I know he's got a counterpoint character that I love that talks to animals.
He has actually several. They start with the animal one, but then there's like a couple other ones that like start popping up. And you're like, oh wait, there's like all these different people that have different colors associated with them and different powers like that. And then that doesn't get addressed. The story just wraps off with him like
bad.
stepping down from being mayor or something weird like that. I'm like,
Why the Last Man went great, and that's supposed to. I thought it'd been developed into something.
They are working on that at HBO, I think.
Yeah, that one's constantly in development.
But yeah, I don't know how Ex Machina is not a.
Yeah,
it would be so great.
One last one, Animal Man.
Oh yeah,
based on Grant Morrison's run ideally, but Jeff Lemire's run would also work.
Yeah, I would take the Jeff Lemire run. The only thing that I didn't like about Lemire's run of it was that at some point it had to dovetail into the legitimate DC universe.
Yeah,
because it was part of their not rebirth,
right?
Their one of their reboots, and New 52, I think.
Yeah,
but it established the green, the red, and the rot.
Yeah.
And that's one of the creepiest, neatest setups in the DC universe that I've ever seen. It tied in Swamp Thing, it tied in Animal Man, and made him the avatar of flesh things, the way Swamp Thing is the avatar of green things. And then it had the Rot, which was the villain they were fighting that wasn't a villain.
Yeah.
It was just a way out of balance third leg of a stool.
Yeah, it was like entropy and
Yeah,
that kind of.
I love that the Rot was not evil. That without the Rot, the green would overtake the world, and without the Rot, the red would overtake the world.
Yeah,
but
it was.
I
out
need
of
to read
balance.
this.
yeah,
it's really good.
And there's a point in the middle of one of the issues where I went, "Son of a bitch, Superman's going to have to deal with this at some point. That's going to be hysterical."
Yeah, you know what else? Would you want that in the CW, or would you want it in like an HBO or an FX or a Stars or something?
I kind of wanted it on FX or Stars.
Yeah, me too. Although I think CW could do an Animal Man. We've seen Riverdale is certainly weird as shit, but it's got some creepiness to
I'm
it.
looking forward to Freeform's Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah. So
Kian Ibanez, who says, "Hey dudes, I have kept up with the new ongoing Dragon Ball series, Dragon Ball Super, which is, I guess, a continuation of Dragon Ball Z. And just last weekend, the 1 hour special broke all the legal streaming sites that hosted, and they couldn't keep up in the traffic and everything, caused it to crash. I couldn't even get a chance to watch till the next day. So my question is, has there been a show or movie in a streaming service that has been so huge it caused them to crash?
Luke Cage broke Netflix.
I thought I was going to say, I thought one of the Marvels did. It was Luke Cage.
Luke Cage broke Netflix. Weirdly.
HBO, Game of Thrones has broken
Has taken down
HBO
HBO.
Go a few times.
Yeah.
Like,
Did Westworld?
I don't think it did. I think Westworld, they
It
were
was
ready
Game
for
of
it at this
Thrones.
point.
Then that
Game
took
of
down
Thrones
HBO
shut it
Go.
down
Yeah.
like a first couple times, like last year when
There's
HBO
been
Go
something
was
else that
Weirdly,
Well-
when the Entourage movie premiered, it crashed HBO now.
how did
That's ridiculous.
I had a few hiccups with it, but I don't know if it was really widespread or if it was just the fact that I was watching it live through the app. But CBS All Access, I watched Discovery's premiere.
I've seen people
live.
griping about it.
And the last episode of Star Trek Discovery, I had some fuzzy artifacting throughout which annoyed me on All Access. But
I haven't had any problems with All Access, and I kind of been expecting them because people have been griping about it.
Yeah, it's been pretty smooth for me.
only reason I was annoyed is because it's a good looking show.
It really is.
Like,
Yeah, you should go listen to. You know who likes to talk about that show?
oh, is there a podcast?
Star Trek Discovery Pod.
Star Trek Discovery poo. It looks like the D is an O.
Yes.
Yes.
I listen to that every week, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, you guys have made the cut of like the 5 podcasts I have time for.
I listened last week to the one I was not on.
Yeah.
I was like, man, they're so much better without me.
I disagree. I think it's best when all 4 of you guys are there. I
Well-
missed Ashley when she wasn't there. I missed you when you weren't there.
Thank you, man. 2 more questions. First one is from Nick Thies, who says, "Hey, dudes, what low-level mutant would you like to see get a cameo on Gifted?"
Oh man, so many.
Gifted. Mimic? I'd like to see
Mimic.
pop
Nice.
up.
Yeah.
Mimic or Morph. I feel like I'm just really stuck in the X
Yeah, 90s. Yeah. Exiles. yeah.
series.
Oh God,
I blame Blink.
Yeah, let's have. I mean, I spent those whole 2 episodes just going, "That's Blink. It's perfect. She's Blink. Holy
Yeah.
shit!
She's much better Blink than in the X-Men movies.
Oh my
Yeah.
God!"
Actually, this their take on Blink's powers, we'll talk about, but it's so good. Here's a weird one because I hate both these characters. I want them to do something with like Maggot and Cecilia Reyes from the 90s X-Men. These were weird characters. Like Maggot has his digestive system outside his body and it can eat anything, and that was its powers. And he's a weird dude. And Cecilia Reyes was a doctor who had a force field who wanted nothing to do with being a mutant.
I want Chamber.
Oh,
Who?
Chamber. Yeah, from Generation X. And Skin. Let's go with Skin.
I would also
too.
take Skin. Skin's
Yeah.
rad. Which Skin has gotten to be on TV before.
Yeah.
Skin was in the Matt Frewer Gen X pilot that, thank God, did not get picked
Yeah,
up.
that's not great. And also, there's probably any number of the new like Grant Morrison New Mutants, like the Living Brain Kid and that kind of stuff. Oh, and Quentin Quire.
Yeah.
So last question. This one's actually a little bit more serious.
Yep.
But we'll see how we do.
Yeah.
Benjamin Hamill says, after the horrific violence in Vegas, do you think TV shows will start to approach gun violence differently?
No.
No.
Nope, it won't. Yeah, gun violence sells.
No.
Nope. TV show writer rooms are made up of people.
Yeah.
And we as a country aren't going to do anything about this
Yeah.
at all.
Yep.
So TV shows will start to address gun violence differently in the sense that whatever change we need to make in this conversation so that we can move on without doing anything, we'll have that conversation and our TV shows will get us to the other side of it.
I feel like it might cycle into a couple episodes like
Yeah.
a little mini thing, but they'll make it.
We'll
like,
have some conversations about how we can't do anything about it and how we should get okay and move on.
Yeah, and then in another couple months, it'll be back to same old.
Yeah,
Same
we
old.
didn't do shit after Sandy Hook. We're not going to do anything about Vegas.
You know what the interesting thing is? And I thought this brought up. We all used to think smoking was going to be around forever too. And smoking, they successfully did. Like, remember what a big deal it was? Like, Marvel said no more smoking in our comics.
Now, if we can get a shaming campaign going about guns, then sure.
That is the only thing that's going to happen. If it's something like, basically, it stops being in the pop culture because people are actively deciding they don't want to contribute, then that might happen. But it's going to be a larger cultural force than anything. TV is going to follow, not lead on this.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily TV's role, I think, to like be.
No, if they proselytize,
the
it'll backfire.
Yeah. I mean, TV is a reflection of the society that we live in, sucky as it is.
And that's why I don't think it'll only change in the sense of what we needed as this society to do, and what we'll need it as this society to do is smooth it over so that we don't have to enact real change.
Yeah. Plus, I'm as anti-gun as you'll find in real life, but I fucking love guns in fiction.
You're a huge fan of guns.
I do love guns in fiction.
Your favorite Transformer is Megatron.
No,
it turns
Grant,
into a gun.
I don't like Transformers. I like Gundams because guns right there in the name.
Oh my god! So, are you guys excited about this Szechuan sauce that McDonald's is releasing? Oh, wait. I think we already missed it.
No, last week, somebody asked if we were going to go get Szechuan sauce on the 7th. And what I said is, I'm going nowhere near a fucking McDonald's on the 7th.
I know somebody who tried and said that's the most disappointing, long, worthless trip they have ever made.
I guess they released this super limited and almost no one got it.
They didn't send enough. Basically, McDonald's corporate fucked up an easy promotional opportunity.
Yeah.
And they did this on their own, like apart from Rick and Morty, like who wanted nothing to do with it.
There was a tweet, I think, from Dan Harmon of just like, thanks for doing a promotion badly that we didn't authorize and that I'm just taking shit for.
Yeah, and you guys
also,
are piggybacking off of a joke we made about a character who's terrible.
But like fans were coming at the show like they fucked it up.
Yeah.
Like McDonald's just did this.
Because once again, Rick and Morty fans are terrible.
They're terrible people. Yeah. But did you guys see the Wendy's tweet?
Yeah.
That was amazing.
It basically said, come on over to Wendy's for chicken nuggets. We don't have any Szechuan sauce, but neither does McDonald's.
Oh, that's awesome. That is, man, I was just sitting here thinking, I wonder if Whataburger got in on this. 'Cause, I love fast food joint trolling.
Yeah.
So we got some news stories, Randy.
So some exciting stuff. So in keeping with the theme, all the news stories I have here are all superhero themed, or at least comic book themed. So first of all, Kyle Killen, Austinite, and producer of great but canceled TV shows.
Oh, man. Lone Star. Awake.
Awake.
Did you say Calculon? He's a great actor.
Calculon.
Calculon. That's a character from comics. A little mini character I want brought up.
So Kyle Killen is adapting Velvet by Ed Brubaker.
Nice.
Now, Velvet is a 70s spy thriller that is essentially the question of what if Miss Moneypenny was actually the most badass agent at the agency.
It's great. Man,
it's super good.
Randy, can you please hide your boner? This is like everything Randy loves.
I reread this. I bought the hardcover. Of course, I bought the hardcover. I reread it the other day. It holds up. It's amazing. And Kyle Killen doing it. That's great. It's on the Paramount Network.
It's also
Is
Kyle
that
Killen,
UPN?
so he's going to kill it.
What is the Paramount Network? Is that UPN?
Apparently, it's a thing that didn't exist.
Wait, so it's a brand new network?
Yeah, it's a
Or-
new streaming network or something.
I mean, I wonder if that's just going to get rolled up into someone else's.
Going to go as well
like-
as Powers?
yeah, I hope so.
Like maybe it's more like they're a producer, but they're going to get bought up by like Hulu or
It
something.
sounds to me-
Yeah, so like some other distributor. Yeah.
Maybe. It sounds to me like Paramount's going to try and launch their own streaming network.
I don't care. I want as much Ed Brubaker script produced as possible. His episode of Westworld was great.
He's doing a show over at Amazon
Yeah,
too.
he is. He's one of my favorite writers working.
Yep.
Why haven't these people bought my script? If there's a billion networks now, just buy my script, guys.
You just got to find the right network.
Give me monies.
All right. Michael B. Jordan is going to be in a show called Raising Dion on Netflix. It's about a kid who has superpowers, and it's the story about like his mom trying to raise him. The weird thing is she's a single mom because Michael B. Jordan, who's the dad, is dead. So I don't know if it's going to be like flashbacks.
Like, he's primarily a producer, I believe, right?
is he not on? He's playing the dad in the show.
Okay. I thought what
producing
I
and
read
probably
is that he's
flashbacks.
producing, but he's also going to be doing like a little cameo.
Okay, all right, that makes more sense.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it's a single mom raising a kid with superpowers.
Yeah.
Sounds like fun.
Basically, everything Michael B. Jordan's been involved in on any side of the camera so far has been great.
Yeah.
His whole career's been a lot of good choices.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of like, has he done anything that's been bad yet?
He was in the Fantastic Four movie.
Oh shit!
I haven't seen that. Was he bad in it, or was it just a? Was it? I know it was a
bad.
turd, but
I don't
He was
know.
actually one of the brighter spots. Brighter spot?
No.
I didn't know if it was
No.
possible for anybody to be a bright spot in that. I heard it was pretty bad.
Well, he was literally on fire.
Yeah. Man on fire.
See what you did there.
Yeah.
And final bit of news that I have: John Constantine has been confirmed for season 3 of Legends of Tomorrow.
What?
That's great.
Not even Matt Ryan can fully save that show, but I love Matt Ryan as Constantine.
Can you imagine how much fun he's going to have in that show?
Oh man.
Can you imagine how much fun that's gonna
Especially his entire "you people are idiots" shtick.
Yeah,
and it's really gonna fly on Legends.
be? And oh my God, is this how they're going to write out Stein? Does he just get killed because he buddies up to Constantine, and then he winds up containing a demon or something?
That would be wonderful.
Now, like, from my understanding, from
Yes.
what you guys described
Yeah.
of this show, they're all incompetent boobs.
Yes.
But
Yep.
Constantine isn't.
No,
He's like very competent, isn't he?
he's very competent at keeping John Constantine alive.
Yeah, he's
He looks
terrible.
out for number one. Gotcha.
Yeah, he's terrible at keeping everyone
gets
else
killed.
alive. Yeah.
Even if he means to keep you alive, there's good odds that it will come down to a choice where he just keeps him alive.
Yeah, he's cursed.
So what if he just shows up and the whole team gets killed off and he just starts a new show, basically?
I'm down for that. I am so down for Constantine and the Wave Rider and whoever he can grab.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
So we're going to talk about Supergirl, Flash, and Legends of Tomorrow in that order. And as Les pointed out off mic, that takes us from dour to goofy, which is weird because we're going to start with Supergirl, and Supergirl shouldn't be dour.
No, it's a really weird fit.
Yeah.
Like I really didn't enjoy. I like what they're doing plot wise, but I didn't enjoy watching this pilot or this premiere.
This whole episode was about Kara getting over a breakup. There was a really bad breakup, and the problem is the guy she was dating was a douche, and we were all well rid of him.
I never cared about Manel. I mean, I was amazed they got me to care about Manel at all.
Yeah.
And so it made sense what she was doing. They had Kara explain at one point that straight up everything's going great for Supergirl. Everything's going really, really bad for Kara Danvers.
Yeah.
Let's remember, Kara Danvers is a personality we made up when you guys found me as a child.
Yeah.
I'm done playing this stupid part that just gets me hurt.
Yeah. You know,
it made sense. Like, I got why, like...
Yeah, it made sense. She was going to throw herself into... I mean, she was throwing herself into her work.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, Clark's alarm has to go off and him go, this is fucking stupid. I am not getting up and going to this daily planet. I can fly.
I'll say this. Of course, I thought that Melissa Benoist played it well.
Yeah.
She's great. And there's a moment where Kyler Lay, playing her sister, does that. She basically says, Kara's my favorite person. She saved my life more times than Supergirl ever will, and I miss her, or something like that. And it was a great delivery. Like, she's the secret weapon of that show.
Yeah.
Like, I think Alex is my favorite character on that show. And I want her to become a superhero or something.
She also had a wonderful moment asking Martian Manhunter. Alex did asking Martian Manhunter this episode to walk her down the aisle.
Yeah.
And there's a really touching moment of like, now you stop it.
Yes, the two hardest characters of the show saying, "Don't cry or I'll cry." People will know we cry.
Yeah, and I like that. That's a real, because if you cry, then I'll cry, and then all those people will know that we can cry.
Yeah, that was great. I still love the CW made some good tweaks to the show. Adding Mon-El was a mistake, but they fixed that. But having Wynn work at the DEO, it's a great change.
Yep.
Maggie is super welcome. I heard that she wasn't going to be on the show this season. I hope she's not going out.
I was really afraid they were starting to write her out with the problems with the wedding.
And I still think they might be, but I don't know how they're going to do it, and I hope they don't, because I love those two together.
And then in this episode, we also got the introduction of some kind of new character that is somehow tied to Krypton.
Yeah.
Who can crush steel and throw crap off her child.
Yeah, I liked that. I don't know what the reveal is on that.
She was introduced really well. I don't know what that's going to pay off to.
And she's tied into Kara's mom, who is now played by Erica Durance, the Supergirl from Smallville.
Yep.
Which is a little weird, but I rolled with it. That's fine. And then also, I like what they've done with Jimmy. I like him being the head of Catco. I thought it was a little dumb for him to use a signal watch to call Supergirl back to make a report.
Oh, I was so glad she chewed him out for that. Of like, no, don't care.
Yeah, that's not.
Don't care. Never touch that watch for that.
They've got Lena Luthor. They're really playing up the best friendship between Lena Luthor and Supergirl, which is also great. And I bet was not their original intention.
No, probably not.
I feel like they saw the chemistry between those characters and they added that, and I think that's a really good. And that's one of the things Berlanti shows do is they adapt to good relationships.
In fairness, this is Jimmy has never known how to use the Super Call watch.
No.
Because the very first time they introduced his character in season 1, he shows Supergirl his watch and presses the button on it to show the alarm.
Yes,
and says what it does.
Yep.
And I remember looking at the TV and thinking, so Superman arrives in 3, 2.
No,
and he just doesn't like.
Superman has learned to ignore that fucking watch.
And that was my takeaway. Was like Jimmy's cried foul. Oh no, Jimmy's just showing that off.
He's like, you know what? I stopped showing up. He doesn't even. It stopped working.
He probably stops.
Years ago.
He listens really, really hard.
Yeah.
No, I can hear Jimmy talking to a girl. Yeah.
God damn it, Jimmy! Stop showing up the watch. They introduced Adrian Pasdar as Morgan Edge, who is a villain from the comics. Who is like a media mogul. And I believe in the comics he had ties to the Fourth World. Here he's just like a generic villain. But Adrian Pasdar plays a good scenery-chewing villain.
Oh, I was just about to say he chews scenery with the best of them. Yeah.
And they also used an obscure DC supervillain, Bloodsport, as their villain, and did pretty well. I mean, he's a mercenary, but he was a scary enough mercenary.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as he popped on the screen, and I went, "Oh, because you don't want to use Deathstroke."
Yeah. This is the best CW superhero show, right?
Yes, currently.
I mean, I think it has. It's got a lot of heart.
It's the most functional.
Yeah, and it's got. I like the characters. They all act less stupid in general than a lot of the other characters.
Yeah, because no pun intended, Flash is not up and running yet by the end of the pilot.
Let's talk about Flash.
Or the premiere.
Flash should be great. Flash opens with them taking down a rogue, Peekaboo, with Vibe in full-on costume, Kid Flash, and Joe.
Yeah.
Badass
Joe.
I was in. I was like super in on them taking down the rogue.
Vibe freezes somebody midair, which we've seen Breach do to him before. He throws somebody through a portal. It's freaking great.
It was cool. And Iris, having taken the death of Barry, or the running into the Speed Force of Barry, or whatever, as a chance to sort of become the coordinator of all of them, that's a great role for her.
Yeah. I was glad that everybody started to get sick of Iris's too serious about it.
Yeah.
And I was glad for that. That didn't go on any longer than Flash was absolutely going to drag that on.
Right.
And I did love the banter of like Team Kid Flash. Nobody's feeling that.
Yeah, that was fun. But then the sad thing is, like, I love Grant Gustin, but the minute they brought Flash back, I lost interest in the show. I thought that was a weird take on him.
Yeah, I didn't like Barry coming back crazy and then it just being okay.
Yeah.
And as soon as he came back, I was like, I know what you guys are going to do because you stop redoing this.
Yeah.
I liked them they needed to bring Caitlin back.
Yeah, they did. I'm glad they did.
Yes. I don't want that show without Caitlin Snow.
I agree.
And I like that they've hinted at her potentially having the interesting thing that's going to be going this season. Mm-hmm. Whoever she's working for, and that she's flipping back and forth between Killer Frost and Caitlin,
right?
Basically,
yeah, I like that
we
too.
Don't really know what's in control.
Did you notice that Tom? What's Tom's last name? The guy who plays HR and Harry.
Kavanaugh.
Tom Cavanaugh was in the credits.
He is huge this season.
Yeah.
There was an interview I read that talked about they really want to do something with the HR from Earth 2 that is Jesse Quick's dad.
No, so Harry. Yeah.
Harry.
Okay.
That they really want to do something with Harry because now Harry's kid is on another Earth as a hero. Mm-hmm. Everything's basically fixed, and like they've now got a Wells that we like that is out there that has come around in a huge character arc over a few seasons that they really want to do something with now.
Right.
And so I think this season is going to be like Harry figuring out what his purpose is.
That's too bad, actually, for me, because I love Harry, and I think it's a great version of the character, and I love Tom Cavanaugh, but I was kind of hoping it was going to be like the Kenny or the Spinal Trap drummer, where they, every season, they just go into the multiverse and grab another
I was
Harrison
too.
Wells.
I was really just hoping it would be a like fifth or sixth Harrison
Every
Wells.
season they get a new guy. Every season he gets killed or something happens to him, and they get a new one.
And you could keep having Harry come back and be disappointed and like, oh, another me? That was worthless.
Yes. I really kind of hope that's what they were doing.
I am overall, though, just thrilled that they're going to do something. I was a little afraid that they were going to let Wells just fall off.
Yeah.
And Tom Cavanaugh is a heart of the show for me.
Yeah, he's great.
He's like same with the actor that plays Joe. Without him, the show's not
you
gonna
need
work.
him. Do you think that has Kid Flash gotten better? Because I felt like he was better here.
Yes. I can't think of that actor's name, but he's
Keenan
still not great.
Lonsdale, something like that?
Yes. He is, and he tries.
Yeah.
But there's times where he gets scenes where his line delivery is just off.
Yeah, I feel like he's growing into it, but he was definitely not.
He's having more fun. Yeah, he's definitely having more fun. I didn't like seeing him get stabbed through the leg, but watching the samurai just lance him through the leg was pretty great. I love when they stop speedsters like that.
Also, Samuroid was a weird villain to use.
Samuroid was straight up weird.
A flying samurai.
All of Cisco's names were weird, even the ones where he was like, that's a rough draft. Now we're back. I was like, you're back with Samuroid? No, you're not. No.
I'm sure. I mean, that's a DC name. I'm sure that's a character.
But just, no, you're not.
That's the other good thing. The main villain of this season is the Thinker.
And I really like the Peter Weller RoboCop Brainiac vibe they've got going.
I liked it too. So I'm a little hopeful.
It's not a speedster. It's not a friggin' speedster.
So I'm a little hopeful that Flash is going to. But the problem I'm having is 22 episode seasons and too much good TV, and I don't know I'll stick with it.
No, half of this is going to be a good show.
Yeah,
and then the other,
exactly right.
then there's going to be 13 or 11 episodes that won't be.
And then there's Legends of Tomorrow, which I was watching it and I'm like, this show is ridiculous.
Even my Saturday morning fix is not working for this show anymore. It's so goofy.
Yeah, like okay, I get that you want to do something goofy, but so. Rip shows up with his new time bureau, says, you're all terrible at this, go home. And I bought that entirely.
And this is the most that Rip has worked for me. Because as like a badass general that rose up through the ranks, it never worked. He was always as inept as they were.
Yeah.
His ineptness makes sense to me when it's couched in bureaucracy.
Yeah.
Like basically Rip would be the best time whatever that ever could be, except that dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's is going to inevitably cause things to mess up.
Yes.
And I like where that leaves the Legends.
Yeah.
That yes, you need to operate on history with a scalpel, as Rip puts it, we're the greatest security force that the world has never heard of.
Yeah.
But sometimes you need, I mean, as they do later in the episode, they have an incursion with a bunch of Time Bureau agents, and Caesar is ready for them and takes a bunch of people hostage.
Yeah.
And the Legends can just drop in and fuck shit up.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing is
Rory
that
stole this episode from me, though.
Rory's always great. I mean, I don't love the idea of turning one of the best villains into basically the Wolverine, but he's so good at it that I don't care.
And the show, where they put the show, it so desperately needs him to take that exact kind of piss out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, he needs to be mocking the whole thing the whole time. So the thing that weirds me out is this felt like an episode of Chuck in some ways, because they would do those things where like Chuck, whatever his flaws, was clearly skilled, and so they do these things where they want to show how he'd fallen, his life had fallen apart, and go back to these normal things. I understand that Rip shows up and tells them, okay, you guys can't be time agents anymore. They're all still superheroes. There is no reason for White Canary to go work at a fucking Bed Bath & Beyond.
How is that the job she found?
Like, at least go be a cop, for God's sake.
There's nobody needs killed for hire?
Yeah.
At no point in history?
And I know what they were trying to do is do the goofy. They were trying to set up that like, oh, look at the wacky adventures these guys get up to. Ray's working on a startup. Well,
they really wanted it to have that scene where they all go, no, our lives suck. Let's go do this other thing.
Yeah, so you couldn't do a thing where they go back and their lives are okay. I understand that, but it was so stupid.
Yeah, the only one that made any sense that was unhappy was Commander Steel, who's actually being a superhero.
Yeah.
And I like his disappointment of like, yeah, I'm the second most popular behind Kid Flash.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's mad because like Wally doesn't really need him.
Yeah.
Like Kid Flash is wrapping up all the villains, and Commander Steel's like, I said you'd leave me one.
By the way, Commander, I can't decide whether I love or hate the Commander Steel Adam Bro thing that they've got going.
Yeah, that's just weird.
I either love it or I hate it, and I haven't decided which one yet.
And I did like that they have Amara. Is it Amara?
Yeah.
Go back to her village.
Yeah, although apparently they're not going to leave that plot alone, which is interesting.
No. If I remember correctly, her destiny in her village is to die there.
Yeah, she dies to pass the necklace along.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's goofy as hell, but I still kind of liked it. And I don't know how much I'll keep watching.
I'm as likely to keep watching this as Flash. It at least has a more sense of humor about itself.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that they're just refusing to not get to keep doing this job.
I'll definitely stick with Supergirl. Like I say, the sort of the sincerity of it all and the characters really work for me on that show. But I'm not sure about Flash or Legends. I didn't finish them out last year, and it's going to depend on what else there is going.
Watching Mick pull out stuff out of his jacket at the end of the Legends episode of like, here's a time thing and a communication thingy, and this is a gun thing, and it's everything he's stolen off Rip while they were standing there getting their asses chewed out.
Yeah,
those moments are absolutely wonderful for me on this show.
Yeah,
and Firestorm is my favorite DC, one of my favorite DC characters.
It's too bad they've really dropped the ball.
It's too bad that they've really. I'm interested. They're obviously with the change of Victor Garber, they're going to change something up with that character, and I'm interested to see what they do with it.
The problem is that Victor Garber isn't the bad half. Jax is a boring as shit character.
That kid can not act.
Yeah.
So, hey guys,
Grant's been here this whole time. I don't know if you could hear it, but there was a thought going through his head, and that thought was nerds.
It was more like suckers. I can't believe you're watching those shows.
Yeah, I mean, you would never watch a bad
So let's talk about
TV
Inhumans.
show.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, which one do we go with, the good or the bad here?
Let's start with the bad.
All right, we're going to start off with the Inhumans, guys. I watched.
Did you make it all the way through that episode?
I watched that first episode, and I watched the second one.
Oh, there's another one.
Another one.
They made
came out
another
this
one
week.
of those.
You poor bastard.
No, it's not as long as that first one, but
So at least they started giving up. Because
Wait, the first one's only like 42 minutes,
I
right?
didn't make it through the first one.
it was an hour and 22 minutes without commercials.
Okay, so Hulu only has one episode on there, or at least one that I saw.
And you didn't even finish that.
No, I finished 20 minutes of that show, and I'm like, fuck this show forever.
I know I tried it in 3 different attempts, and I may have made it to the end of Inhumans, and I just didn't care where it went.
You know what?
I'm not sure.
So here's my thoughts on Inhumans.
It's just so bad.
Okay.
So let me start with a couple. I have a couple thoughts. One is they need to take the slow-mo away from that director until he learns how to use it.
Mm-hmm. Like slow-mo rain in the very beginning. I was like,
yes,
what are you
for
doing?
no reason. The second is the guy who's doing the music knows what show they're trying to make, because this music is very bombastic and epic and you know, that kind of thing. No one else seems to know, because everyone else is doing community theater. It's embarrassing.
The music is actually kind of good.
It's embarrassing level acting. It is. The production design is also like when they open with Medusa and Black Bolt, the king and queen of this fucking kingdom on the moon, and their room looks like a Days Inn. The production designer should be fired and then shot and drawn and quartered so they don't ever do that
It
again.
feels like a moon. It feels like a concrete.
The shitty fake
warehouse.
leather and all their
Yeah.
costumes. The fact that Black Bolt constantly looks like he just can't remember the lines they gave him.
Yeah,
that's why he's not
yes,
talking.
yes.
Like, pick an actor that can have a face that doesn't look confused. Like they literally cast a man who cannot look interested in shit. That doesn't just look like it's puzzling. I mean, he looks like the kid at the back row of a math class.
He looks like a doofus when
And
he doesn't talk.
And Gorgon is supposed to be a sort of a, boasting kind of Thor Hercules type dude, not a bro. I fucking hated Gorgon, and everybody's so casual. Everybody here is like, this is an alien tribe that lives on the moon, because they feel like the fucking cast from Central Park.
It feels. I kind of liked Karnak. but I just like Ken Lung.
That's
a lot.
just residual Ken Lung. If you step back from that, if you didn't know it was Ken Lung, you'd hate him too.
Well, and it's almost worse because I love Karnak in the comics.
Oh, I don't know anything about the
Karnak
character.
is far and away my favorite Inhuman. He's about the only Inhuman other than Lockjaw that I legit give any shits about.
And Warren Ellis did an amazing reinvention
and mostly
of him.
because Warren Ellis really. So in the comics, what's going on with Black Bolt's wormy little brother?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name in the Maximus, of course. With him having not terrigenesis into anything neat.
Yeah.
And basically just their human slave caste system. Oh my God, this show is so bad.
Yeah.
In the comic that Warren Ellis just recently did, Karnak has basically had that happen, where he went through terrigenesis and didn't change. So he's not as powerful as everyone else. And that basically his power comes from a freakish amount of studying, which makes really no sense because he's superhuman in the comics.
Yeah.
The ability to see the flaw. And I liked that they played that up in the show. I liked I liked Karnak sitting there at the table and looking at the waitress or the servant girl and going, 2.5 days.
Yeah.
Day 1, I would love you. Day 2, I'd find this flaw, and this flaw. Day 3, you'd kill me.
Yeah, but he was such a dick. I mean, it was very
such a
Warren
dick
Ellis
about
take.
it.
Yeah,
but I didn't find him likable.
Yeah, he was kind of a gross person for that,
Yeah.
and it was
Yeah.
like, ugh.
Yeah, like that's what you
What a
choose to
piece
use
of
your
shit
powers
you are.
on.
And to me, that's the difference in, like, you had a character that was set up as a particular type of kind of nuanced cynic because he's seen the whole world die. And then you take a writer's room that just can't get it across.
Well,
and you just get a dick.
like, what if he was a dick to his waitress?
I feel like
Yeah.
I have a couple points to make.
Okay,
here.
yeah.
First off, if you like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you'll probably like
you
this.
will probably
No.
love this show, I would think.
No, this is worse than Agents of
It is
S.H.I.E.L.D.
worse than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
This feels totally like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's got the same boring universe.
Yeah.
It's got this like half-assed budget. Like their production on everything just feels like it wasn't fully thought out.
Yeah.
Because you can see the money is there in a lot of aspects.
Yeah.
They put a lot of money into this fucking
They
dog.
just didn't know where to put it.
Oh, God, that dog.
But second off, one of my big issues is that Maximus actually is kind of the good guy in this situation.
Yeah.
And yet they should do a better job of showing that.
Yeah.
We have a society of these royals who relish in a caste system, who keep themselves separate from the lower commoner, and like the shit that they've caused there, that should be more apparent. And yet they're trying to make us root for these people. I'm
Yeah.
like, fuck all
Near
of
as
them.
I can tell, they're living on the entire moon. There's like 13 people doing anything in any given room, and you got 1,000 people that you just keep telling that there's just no room for.
Yeah, there's no
And no
space,
food
but
and
they
no space
got-
and no nothing.
They're
Yeah.
living in a lavish penthouse. I'm like, yeah, you guys are the bad guys.
Yeah, no, I'm totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, and they're
And Maximus
definitely
is
setting
like,
Maximus up to be the villain. But
I'm
he's
going to
just
empower
not.
the people, and
Yeah.
I wish that because they kind of show it a little bit.
Yeah.
but it seems like they cast a guy who you're like, oh, they want him to play a villain, and
Yeah.
we want to root against this
Yeah.
guy. And,
Well, Maximus in the comics is meant to be. He is like he's got sort of mind manipulation powers, and he does bring the alpha primitives. Like he starts his rebellions. He's trying to overthrow. Like he is supposed to
He's
be
like Loki.
He's like Loki. Yeah, he's a lovable villain. You like him, but you never. And he's crazy, and so you never know what he's doing. And the heroes, while noble and sort of forthright, they're also distant, and there's sort of and they do have a flawed society. And all that. If you take an ounce of nuance, it's very interesting. If you fuck it up, you can fuck it up really badly. And I've never been an Inhumans fan, and I've thought there have been a couple of good takes, but in general, I'm like, don't do this show unless you're going to do it really, really well.
It was weird when they announced it to me.
And they somehow made the worst possible. Like, this wasn't even a bad version. This is a, dear God, the internet is going to be making fun of this show in a year. They're going to be talking about, do you believe, there's going to be an IO9 article about, do you believe this was a real thing that happened?
I appreciate their owning that they're putting him on the moon. They have some funky characters. Medusa's wearing a purple outfit and has a crazy long
And
hair
there's
until
stuff
they
that-
shave her
on
head.
the one hand, they're trying to get stuff to look like the comic, but it just looks cheap.
It looks cheap.
Well, it's half-assed. They do a little bit over
Yeah.
here, and then they're like, oh, and then we're going to spend the rest of the time on Hawaii.
I don't understand how you do this. I have seen cosplayers who had a much smaller budget do amazing
Yeah.
Inhumans cosplay.
I mean, ABC, their palette, their vision, their wardrobe, their people behind the scenes that are working on all of these, they don't give a fuck.
Strike fucking two, guys.
So the first time that I turned it off, the first attempt I made at watching it, I made it through the slow-mo rain intro, and then the green guy that's supposed to take her to Triton, his costume looked terrible.
Yeah, it did.
He kept changing colors as he runs.
What are
through
the things? What are the things that they fight in Land of the Lost?
Oh yeah,
The Sleestacks?
Sleestacks? Yeah, Sleestacks look better than him.
Yeah.
So I made it through that, right? And then we got the Inhumans intro with the weird like symbols for everybody's weird tattoo and angular shit.
Yeah.
And everything was fine. And then it threw the logo up there, and I was like, hey, these credits actually aren't. And then it slapped that cutesy little Lockjaw
dog
sticker
thing?
on the end,
Yep.
like little sticker on there.
Yeah.
And I went, motherfucker, and I turned the TV off, and I almost picked the phone up and called Randy of like, you cannot. I think I might have texted you that you cannot believe how bad this is. You have to watch this right now. I mean, it really was. It was like a sticker slapped on the end of it, like
I watched the exact
by
same thing
Hasbro
today, and I was
or.
like, oh.
You know what's funny? Lockjaw's important. Like, Lockjaw is the heart of the Inhumans. He's this big, shaggy dog who can teleport. He's the loyal heart of the team. And instead, they've made him into basically merchandising.
Yep.
Like, that's all he is. That's all he's there is, look at this teleporting dog. Isn't he cute?
Best thing I can say about the show is that I can get a dog ball joke.
Yeah.
That's the best thing I could say. Was I kept waiting for like a terrible "how big are that dog's balls" joke.
Oh man.
time.
I watched the second episode, which you guys have thankfully avoided.
Oh my
Believe
God.
exists.
It feels like a season 3, episode 7 episode.
Were there unanswered questions from?
Like, how is it so mediocre? They have a scene where Karnak gets he can't use his powers because he's got hit in the head.
Yeah, something's going wrong with his powers, I think.
And so he's dealing with like being a captive of some people that like have some illegal weed farm, I guess, going on. And it's just most of the time it's him spent like in handcuffed to a pole, like going, "Oh, this sucks. I wish I could use my powers." Meanwhile, what's her name? Medusa doesn't have her hair, and she's like she moved into some house that someone's like drove out of. Like she's like we call it freeloading.
Oh my God.
She's like not doing anything. Meanwhile, Black Bolt's in prison and like he helps start a riot, but it's not even that interesting.
So basically, their pitch was, hey, let's take these characters that, if we really work hard, make them interesting, and then let's just put them all in jail.
Let's put them in like lame situations.
Let's take away all their powers.
If they had
God.
any iota of power, they would be able to fight back. And
Even just sensible humans could get out of.
yeah, Gorgon.
Yeah.
He gets in a fight with, I guess, some of the bad people from the moon.
Yeah.
The Inhuman space, but he teams up with a bunch of surfers who apparently all have like extensive military background. They're like, "We'll help you out, bro," for no reason except for that they rescued him from drowning. And they're like, "I believe your full story, and we all have guns here in the woods, and we'll back you up." Like none of it made sense. Guys.
You
It was so bad.
you guys know how Real Rob started making movies, or is it Adam Sandler? Adam Sandler started making movies that was basically just so he could go on paid vacations. Is it possible Jeff Loeb just really wanted to visit Hawaii?
The stunt actor for Gorgon
Yeah.
is a friend of at least mine. I know the guy.
I'm just saying.
And he's loving it.
I think
bet so.
I think he was like, "We'll go to Hawaii. We'll shoot all this shit. I'll those surfers. Yeah, I'll get all my weed from these surfers. I'll put them in an episode. They'll teach me how to surf.
Hey, man,
I know.
you're still owes for that. We'll put you in an episode.
I know this one guy who's a great chef. We'll cast his kid as Medusa's roommate.
How mad those people are going to be when they find out that show is Inhumans.
Like, fuck, man, I didn't know that's what we were making.
That's just
I
embarrassing.
mean, that second episode, that sounds bonkers. That's crazy.
It's you set up this premise, I'm like, okay, first episodes can be rough.
Yeah, sure.
They have to work out a lot of kinks. They have to work out what they want to do special effects wise.
Yeah.
But, usually you get a better picture a couple episodes in. That second episode with how mundane everything was, I was just
That's
like, no.
yes.
Well,
mundane is what the whole thing smacks of mundane.
So watching the first episode, knowing that this is the one that they literally swung for the IMAX fence on,
Oh, God.
like they released as a legitimate movie
Yeah.
in IMAX
Yeah.
for people to go see. I figured if that's the first episode and that's what I got out of that,
I wouldn't show it to my weird nephew on a little phone, let alone put it in an IMAX to be able to pay for
should
it.
have watched it on a phone. I bet that would have helped.
Desmond Hume pops up in the second episode.
Really? Oh my God,
He does
really?
nothing. He does nothing. But he's there, and he shows up in a helicopter to rescue Black Bolt from prison.
I just
None of this makes any sense.
I just want to see him open the hatch and go, no.
nah.
Yeah,
In another life, brother.
I don't understand. This is a very easy. Like I said, they're hard characters to get right, but this is an easy pitch. It's Game of Thrones with superpowers on the moon. It is not surfers rescuing fucking Black Bolt, Gorgon, or whoever. There should be no surfers in the Inhumans. I know that may be controversial to say, but there don't need to be surfers in the Inhumans unless it's the fucking Silver Surfer.
Okay, listen to me. What if we take He-Man, take him off of Eternia, put him on Earth, and then just like have them kind of battle around a neighborhood of suburbia? Wouldn't that be cool?
You just take Son of Zorn, but you just call it He-Man, and you just burn that property to the ground for a decade by fucking it up on this. Yeah.
Just
Luckily, no one cared about Inhumans and wanted this show, so it's not like they're ruining it for a future
that's true.
thing.
But here's a good question. How many more shots does Marvel get at making a successful show? They had one. They had Agent Carter, which they fucked up.
Which they didn't like.
And they didn't like it. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like they they should not be with ABC anymore.
No,
agree.
I have my issues with Marvel Netflix and their darkness.
Yeah.
But ABC has not yet once done anything with a company that we know from their continued century of success has good characters and good stories.
Yeah.
That are already storyboarded, already have a built-in fan base.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like you have to get a running start to fuck these up.
Yeah, ABC should not. I mean, it is ABC because the Runaways trailer on Hulu looks great.
Looks great.
And the Netflix stuff.
That's Jeff Loeb's fault too.
I know.
mean,
I've
it can't just be Loeb.
I've got the Netflix issue, but they're at least mostly for the most part watchable, except for Iron Fist, which also same showrunner as
Scott Buck. You know?
I mean, I really feel like there's been 3 or 4 superheroes shows that have ever been done well on TV.
Yeah.
There's the X-Men one that over on FX.
Oh
Yeah.
Legion.
Legion. That one's amazing.
That's legit great TV.
Yeah, that is just good.
The first season of Daredevil. The second season was okay.
Part of
And then Jessica Jones.
See,
Maybe I might even say The Tick just for me because I enjoyed it.
I would say Flash for season 1 lands exactly in that Bronze Age superhero thing that I want. I would also say you're forgetting a little show called Mantis.
the
which is terrible.
The
What?
Cape.
The Cape. And the Cape. Jeez, Grant, the Cape.
No Ordinary Family.
That's what, the one I was actually thinking was No Ordinary Family.
my God. You know what's
I
funny
enjoy
about
No
that?
Ordinary Family.
Let's talk about our next show, The
Yes.
Gifted, which
Yes.
kind of feels like No Ordinary
Yes.
Family if it took a little bit more
If
seriously.
it was good.
Yes, I very much enjoyed the.
all
I
right.
watched the first 2 episodes of The Gifted, and it was so much better than the Inhumans.
Yeah.
It is. I am not a fan of Bryan Singer's X-Men universe.
Yeah.
His movies have been a huge diminishing return for me since the 90s.
Yeah.
I am fairly certain that we will all regret having ever said happy things about Bryan Singer within the next year of our lives.
If you don't already.
If you've never heard rumors about Bryan Singer, if any of those accusations come out the way they have against other people in the next year, that's going to be horrible.
It seems like a predator.
They already came out right about the time that the last
I didn't think he was going to be able to do the next X-Men movie.
Yeah. And they got sort of squashed, but yeah, we're not in that time.
So anyway, either way, I haven't enjoyed the X-Men movies as much. And so what I was really wanting from Gifted was a Matt Nix show.
And that's what we got.
And that's basically what we got.
Burn Notice, yeah.
So the further that we can go towards that, the happier I'll be with Gifted, because Gifted episode 1, when it starts with them screwed and they end up double screwed, like that show just goes from bad to holy crap worse.
Yeah.
I mean, and not the show worse, but like their predicament.
Yeah.
But overall, they've cast it with actors that I'm surprised how much I like the daughter.
Yeah, she's great.
She's doing really
Hayden
well.
Panettiere Jr.
Oh my God, she's such the cheerleader.
She's the cheerleader.
Yeah.
And somebody said, it reminds me of Heroes. Like, as long as it reminds me of Heroes season 1, that's okay.
Yeah.
Any other bit of Heroes is unacceptable.
True.
And that's the thing. Heroes was run by the guy who made Crossing Jordan, who was kind of a dick.
Tim
clearly, what's that? Tim Kring, who clearly didn't have any idea what superheroes, and he thought everything he was doing was brand new. Matt Nix is a guy with geek bona fides. Burn Notice was a great show.
I love Burn Notice. Yeah, I so want the X-Men of Burn Notice of X-Men shows.
Yeah. And they do a great job. Like, all these characters are obscure, relatively obscure X-Men. Like, Polaris is a pretty C-lister.
So happy when they called her Polaris, though.
And when the green hair
Polaris?
showed up.
And Thunderbird.
Thunderbird. Their Thunderbird is great.
The one person I don't recognize is the light dude.
He's a new character.
Okay.
So when they had little touches in this show, when they have him get shot almost immediately, and he's bleeding light.
Yeah.
And nobody says anything about it. It's just there.
By the way, do you know who the redheaded woman is who's running the show with Thunderbird?
No.
That is Tessa from the Hellfire Club, a.k.a. Sage from Extreme X-Men.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
So
a bunch of little nods.
There's some nice nods in here, and I suspect we'll see more. The other thing is, I've wanted all my life to see giant robot sentinels, and they fucked up in Days of Future Past because they weren't cool enough, and I really wanted giant robot sentinels. That said, their little squiddy Matrix-style sentinels here are scary as fuck. Those are good.
And it made sense to me as if, like, for the first time, the Sentinel program and how it becomes what it becomes makes sense to me because I'm watching tiny robots do little creepy behaviors my first thought was, oh shit, everything they're doing, everything those squiddy things is doing is learning.
Yeah.
And the brain that's in that squiddy thing is going to end up being in a big Sentinel 50 years from now with this lesson.
Yeah.
It feels like, we already mentioned No Ordinary Family, a little bit like Sarah Connor Chronicles here.
Yeah, for sure.
Heroes.
Which, again, was a great... I enjoyed Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Like, it's kind of like this blend of these shows and this family dynamic.
Yeah.
And it's pretty gripping, like, right off the bat.
You know what's amazing is
go ahead.
the budget here can't be much more. It may be less than Inhumans, but like Les was saying, the attention to detail here, the little bits, the knowing what's important,
the post editing, like actually making it look like dark and bleak.
ABC's got to be burning stacks of money to keep warm on the Inhumans set, right? I mean, like they've got Disney money just in like.
Look, Jeff Loeb has to get to Hawaii and back somehow.
I mean,
It's gotta be a
every
private
time
jet.
I see a cheap set on an ABC show, and I think you were funded by Disney. Like, you print money.
Like, this is I don't know where the timelines in the X-verse exist.
I don't need to know.
But when
Honestly,
I
the more
look
fucked
at
they are, the
this-
more correct to comics it is.
Yeah, like when I look at this, I feel like it fits within like the Logan verse in a way. Like I see where the Logan exists in the
Yeah,
future
I can see
of
that.
where this is going on right now, because you can see the decline of society based on half of them like attacking the other half, and trying to like quarantine powered people.
I love this sort of and I'm a huge X-Men fan. I want the costumes and the fastball specials and all that stuff, but I love this scrappy resistance on the run version of the X-Men.
Yeah, it's almost the Morlocks version of it, but but I love the Mutant Underground and that whole setup. I like Stephen Moyer having to flat call that kid, and say, look, you know who you're talking to, and I know who you are. You're going to help my family.
I love him facing off. I don't know how his role in the show is going to be because I thought he was going to be the bad guy.
And I think he still might be, sort of.
But having him
without that second episode,
having him sort of face off with the Sentinel Services guy, who, by the way, is another Burn Notice regular. Who's great.
Yes.
I really liked that bit too. So seeing him sort of show off his
like,
steel.
no, I don't think I am screwed.
Yeah.
I like the nods to X-Men. We know that the X-Men existed in here, and that something
because the kids
happened,
mentioned
they're
like
gone.
no one even knows that they're still here, and oh my god, is that an X-Men thing?
That's kind of perfect.
Are they in the Savage Land? Are they dead?
Maybe they went to the Siege Perilous.
The Brotherhood exists here, and these people are getting a little bit confused with the Brotherhood of evil.
Oh man, if they get to like season 3 and they wind up going to the Savage Land where the X-Men and the Brotherhood have been locked in battle for 2 seasons, that would be amazing.
Like, can't you see if this keeps going and builds on itself, it constructs this world where we can reintegrate or maybe introduce for the first time a better set of X-Men?
Yeah. Well, the second, if they do a new season where Cable shows up and he's from the Days of Future Past future and they introduce what the Sentinels become, and you can do all kinds of cool shit with these toys.
Yeah.
And the course of a TV series is a much better place. The X-Men should always be serialized fiction. It doesn't work as well as 2-hour action movies. I actually have fondness for a lot of the X-Men movies, but the thing that makes X-Men work is the serialized aspect of it and the subplots and the romances and that kind of thing. So I am thoroughly invested in Thunderbird and Polaris.
Yeah. Gifted did almost, I mean, I don't like it as much as Legion.
It's not on the same level.
But Gifted is really good TV. Legion is in another league. I mean, like that.
Yeah.
That I mean, not just as a superhero show. Like that show's better than most other television.
Yeah, that show's one of the best
Yeah,
shows.
that's prestige
of
television.
TV, yeah.
But they both did the same thing where I got done watching an episode and went, "Oh my god, I want I want to comb back through X-Men comic books.
Yeah, that's
I
all
want to go to the library and get 5 graphic novels of X-Men comic books because I do love these characters. And similar to like, let's say if there were a show over on ABC that pulled from a comic book that had 50 or 60 characters that they could pull from that all have crazy powers and amazing backstories and stuff like Inhumans. You'd seem like you couldn't fuck that up. but nothing in Inhumans makes me want to go grab an Inhumans graphic novel and learn about these people.
No.
I mean,
but Gifted does. Gifted makes me want to know who Blink is more.
Yeah, Gifted still feels a little bit small scale, and I think that's good for now, but I'm hoping that they'll be able to open up and expand that as we invest more in this.
Once we're fully sold on the family unit and the danger and who's friends and who's got each other's backs and our little ragtag team, then I'll be waiting for them to step outside and see the larger mutant world.
You know, it's funny. It feels kind of like the scrappiness of like The Walking Dead. They're holed up in a gross looking place.
Yeah, if we're into season 2 or 3 and they're still doing the same shit, I'm going to be done with this show.
Like aesthetically, I'm not like fully into it.
I think the comparison you made, Grant, is a good one. The Sarah Connor Chronicles,
right?
That show started off interesting and got better and better. And by the end, I was super pissed they canceled it for Dollhouse.
Same.
Yeah.
And it still, I think, is a great 2-season show. And if X-Men can scale, or Gift can scale in that same way, and I think we've seen Matt Nick's scale Burn Notice. Mm-hmm. Like, Burn Notice scale, well, it fell apart a bit at the end. In fact, I've never seen the ending. But there were 3 or 4 seasons where I was thoroughly invested.
There's a lot of Burn Notice that is just compulsive watch.
Yeah.
So fun.
So I have a lot of faith in that.
Amy Acker.
She's great. She's great here. Yeah.
I love her and everything.
She's fantastic.
Yeah.
I loved it particularly in the second episode when she tells her kids to stay there.
Yeah.
And she runs back inside the building.
Yeah. I was like, why wouldn't you bring your shielding daughter to shield from everything?
Yeah, don't bring the son. He's friggin' useless in a fight. But more likely to collapse the building on you. But,
and he's really overselling his angst driving his power.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm like, is he going to be super annoying?
Meanwhile, the sister's friggin' good.
She's great.
Yeah.
Like, she can throw one shield, knock a bowling pin over.
I know, right? That little scene, and like her being like, "Hey, let me teach you on a vending machine like how to do some shit."
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh, she's like really smooth about it."
Yeah, she's great.
She's been doing that. Well, because she says about when she tells her mom, the miracle of the car accident, I'm who saved us, and her mom's like, "That was 2 years ago."
Yeah, yeah. She's been working on this life for a long time, which is why I give the brother a little. I mean, part of that's the actor, I think, but I also give the brother a little bit of credit because he's supposed to be playing as the guy who is dangerously unstable.
It's a little bit of a thankless role to be playing the cranky asshole kid.
Yeah,
He did a good job. Yeah, I mean, if he's not careful, he's going to end up being Victor from. He would be Connor from Angel.
Yeah.
If he's not careful.
Yeah.
Where you just get all angst all the time and your character becomes a one-note asshole.
But then you can go on and become the most famous asshole of all in Mad Men.
In Mad Men, true.
Victor Carthyre?
Vincent Kartheiser.
Did
you not know that?
Son.
No, I didn't know he was on Angel.
He played the most angsty shitbag in Angel. I hated that kid.
Yeah,
the actor's so great.
Wesley hated.
It almost put me off Mad Men. Honestly,
you say Wesley hated?
Like he's almost. I mean, it's almost.
Is that
like,
Wesley Crusher?
Yeah.
Like
people hate this guy.
Yeah, not Wesley from Angel. Wesley from Angel.
Hey, I'm on a Star Trek podcast. I don't know that people hate Wesley Crusher.
So the very first comic book convention that I ever went to had, of course, nerdy Star Trek pins like "Make It So" and all this stuff, and Wesley Must Die was a pin.
But that dude has also had a nice little redemption for himself.
Yeah,
that's
Will Wheaton's the man.
Will Wheaton's has become like a geek ambassador. So good for him.
All right, guys. Well. So one's a winner and the other is no bueno. I think we have to come back and revisit The Gifted.
Yeah, we're never going back to the Inhumans again. We're never watching another episode of that show.
We'll put Kyle on assignment.
That's a good idea. Let's make Kyle do an Inhumans podcast.
Yeah, Kyle's our resident Inhumans watcher.
That's what you get for not showing up, Kyle. It's your assignment now.
All right, guys, we done there?
I think we're done.
I think so.
Les, Randy, thank you.
Thanks, Graham.
Thanks.
Listeners, thank you so much. We will be back next week talking about something else of all this deluge of fall shows that we're dealing with. And until then,
a fucking cartoon dog. Do you believe it?
TV Dude's out.
The TV Dudes is an independently run podcast and a member of the Permanent Record Podcast Network. We are exclusively listener supported. If you'd like to help us out, please go to patreon.com/TVDudes. You can like us on Facebook and Twitter at TV Dudes, and help us out on iTunes by giving us a 5-star rating and writing a review. To find out more about us, go to thetvdudes.com and permanentrcrd.com. I'm Grant Davis. Thanks for listening.